Hi there, welcome to the Step Up with Nkechi. You clicked the right channel because on today's episode we're going to be talking about how to nail that TOEFL IBT in one sitting. Absolutely. Today we're going to be talking about how to nail your TOEFL IBT test in one sitting. So if you'd like to know, please keep watching. Welcome back. So today I'm going to be sharing with you from my own experience how I actually passed the TOEFL IBT in one sitting. Now, this is my own experience and I thought that I can share some practical tips with you on how you can also do it. So the first things first, before I continue, if you're new on this channel, welcome to the channel. Please do not forget to hit that subscribe button before the end of this video, turn on your post notifications so you can get new videos whenever I upload. Okay, without further ado, let's go straight into the video. So the first thing you need to do, you don't need to necessarily learn how to speak English language, you just need to learn the tasks that are involved in the TOEFL test. So what do I mean by this? So essentially TOEFL, it's a very specific type of exam, and so it has a specific kind of questions that are being asked at the exam. So what I did for my own experience, I basically just downloaded the Cracking TOEFL IBT. It's on Google. I'm going to leave that in the description below so that you can also have that resources. And then I try to just follow that pattern. And most importantly, I think it's going to be very easy for you if you are already probably intermediate English or advanced level of English. That way it's going to be very easy for you to adapt for. If you're not, no worries. I mean, I feel like TOEFL, anybody can actually pass it. It's all about preparation. So the first thing you need to do is to find out from the university or the college which you want to use the TOEFL test. Find out the score, what is the minimum score, and then you try to use that as a benchmark when you're preparing. So for my own self, I think the benchmark or the test minimum requirement was 87 or 88 if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember right now. But what I did, I found that out, and then the first thing I did, I went to Google and then I downloaded Cracking TOEFL IBT. It's free online. I can share that resources with you in the description below so that you can have that. And then I tried to practice with that. And then just practicing, I realized that I was scoring below my benchmark. I was scoring, I think, around 60 or 70 something. I don't remember. So I knew that I had to focus on the weak points that I had. So typically TOEFL, there is reading, there is writing, there is speaking, and then there is listening. Those are the four main parts in TOEFL. So you need to, the next step is you need to make sure that you try to see where are your weaknesses pretty much. What are the areas that you are not really strong at? What is your weak points? So for some people, reading could be their weaknesses. For some people, writing. For some people, listening. For some people, speaking. So the next thing is just find out that point and try to see how you can actually maximize your efforts on making sure that you step up your game in terms of your weaknesses. So for my own self, I was good at reading, I was good at speaking, I wasn't so strong at writing and listening. It's weird, right? Because I felt like I know how to speak English, I can listen, but TOEFL test, like I said in the beginning, it's a very specific kind of test and it requires specific kind of tasks, like typical tasks that you would not have to learn on your normal day or day-to-day activities. So I had to crack that task and be like, okay, this is how the questions are structured and this is how I should actually pay attention. Know the topics. Get familiar with the topics that are usually asked in TOEFL. They are very specific. So it could be the ancient cave. I think that's one familiar topic in France or something like that. So just go to Google. Google is your friend, and then just Google it and then try to read and learn how they ask the questions. That way you get your brain to be familiar with the topics for TOEFL, because typically TOEFL test, the questions they ask in the reading part, it's not the typical questions you get in your class. So you have to adapt your brain to their kind of questions and learn how to answer them. That's one major trick. Another thing I want to talk about is for the reading part. It's very, very important, and I think this is something that I actually made some mistakes about. So you need to be able to concentrate, use the headphones that they give you at the exam center, because for my own self, even while I was doing my TOEFL, it still had like people coming into the exam hall, so there was a lot of distraction. So reading, essentially you have to make sure that you focus, that you concentrate, use your headphones, whatever you need, make sure that you concentrate and try to take notes. If you have like extra sheet of paper, just take notes and then try to make use of those. And also another tip that I like to share is for the reading part, sometimes it can get a little confusing. One method that you can actually adapt is try to cross out the parts that you're very sure that is the wrong answers. So for example, you always have like 4 options to choose from. The ones that you're very sure that are the wrong answers, make sure that you cross them out first, and then you're left with 2 options. It makes life easy for you, right? Because truth be told is, if you continue reading, it's gonna be very tricky and you might get to see some things that might be confusing, and then it messes the whole thing up. So it's very, very important that you focus, like I said, and then try to pick in that paragraph where you think the answer is, and then move on. Also, another tip I like to share is, the good thing about the reading part is you can actually come back to the questions. So try as much as you can to see if you can leave like maybe 5 minutes to the end of the reading part, then you can come back to it. So that way you're able to be satisfied with your own self, with your own spirit, that you have been able to like fulfill all the requirements or answer all the questions. For me, I think the listening part is like the easiest part because it's pretty straightforward. There's nothing to be caught unaware of. It's not as tricky as the reading or the speaking part, because before you start, it tells you at the beginning that, okay, so this test we're going to be talking about African mammals or species or whatever. So it kind of prepares your mind into what exactly the topic is going to be about before you even start listening about the topic. So the most important tip on the listening part is to make sure that you concentrate as well. Just listen, take down notes, very important. Take down every minute details, because of course for the listening part you can't come back to it. At the end of the listening part, they ask you questions like, okay, so for the mammals in Africa, what year were they released or whatever. So if you miss that year, there is no way you can actually answer that question. So it's very, very important that you get every single details in the listening part and you're good to go. I think another important tip I'd like to share is to make sure that you watch American movies before the test to get familiar with American accent, because TOEFL is actually an American test. So the voices you would hear, or the voice that you would hear, are typically in American accent. For my own self, I mean, I'm from Nigeria and it was British accent we used in learning how to speak English. So I had to like get familiar with the American accent so that I can be able to like understand typically what I'm listening to during the test. So it's very important. I think that also helped me, just watching movies and trying to get familiar with also the topics. Like I said, cracking TOEFL IBT, I'll leave that in the description below so that you can get that resources, so that you can also get familiar with the type of listening test or listening passages that you would be listening to during the exam. Very, very important. I think the last tip I'd like to leave you with in this video is make a study plan. Very, very important. Like, whether you're trying to combine work and school, this is a test that can actually change the direction of your life. Because of course you're using it to apply for something, maybe a job or a scholarship or a school program, whatever it is. It's very important that you make a plan, make a study plan, because failure to prepare is actually preparation to fail.
Good brains.
So for my own self, while I was actually preparing for my TOEFL, I had to actually make a 4-week study plan, because that was the only time I had before the TOEFL test. So I had to make sure that at least 1 hour every day, I dedicated it into just practicing TOEFL, practice. because practice makes perfection. Alright guys, we've come to the end of the part 1 of this video. So these are some of the things I applied and some things I actually wish I knew before actually sitting for the TOEFL test. If you found this content useful, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. It will go a long way to support me. And also, I just wanted to let you know that the TOEFL test that I took actually helped me in getting the scholarship, which I'm on right now as an international student abroad. Well, thank you for watching up until this point. I love you guys. And question for the day actually. So let me know, are you writing the TOEFL test right now? Are you preparing for one? Or you just sat for one and then you stumbled on this video? Please let me know in the comment section below. And I'll be sharing the tips of the reading as well as the speaking in my next video. But thank you guys for watching and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! In one setting. And you don't need to necessarily learn how to speak English language. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Hey guys,